Hey everyone, we are live from Ball Street North. It is the best iteration of the social club because it is that alternate week when it's here. Listen, the guys are all right, aren't they, with their ridiculously short jeans and the option not to go with socks.
Who doesn't wear socks?
I don't honestly, like, if you're a Spanish street urchin, no socks is fine. Yeah. I think it's a thing. If you're going to play, football in a favela, fine. These are like reasonably well-to-do middle-class lads. They can afford socks, and yet they choose not to.
I know. It's all about the look.
It is.
Good job I've got socks on. I was thinking about it this morning.
We have wool socks in Liverpool.
Wow.
Spotty ones.
Spotty socks. I've got my Superman socks.
I've just got plain understated.
Socks.
Versace ones.
Socks mandatory.
Yeah. Exactly, I think so.
It's about 3 degrees.
Right, well, that finishes this stream off then, isn't it?
That's all we wanted to know.
Yeah,
Thanks very much for joining us. So we asked you for your questions for Asktheclub on Twitter. If you haven't gone onto the Ball Street Twitter, at Ball Street on Twitter, it's as simple as that. Every single Monday we put the tweet out. You send questions in, and the best ones we ask the panel. We're also going to be taking your questions from Ross over on the social media as well. So if you're watching the YouTube stream, get some questions and responses in. We're going to kick it off this week. Jason at DC Jason on Twitter says, who is better, Leroy Sane or Anthony Martial? Mr. Stephen Howson, professional Man United fan. Who is better, Sane or Martial?
I'm glad you came to me because I'm clearly neutral.
Absolutely.
So I think if you look at their form for the clubs, you have to probably say Sane. But I don't think that's fair. The way City are set up, it's easy to be an attacker in that City attacking lineup that's just all about it. Like, can you imagine if you was a young defender coming through AC Milan in the early 90s? You would look amazing, wouldn't you, slotting in alongside Baresi and Maldini? I think that Sane's benefiting from that a little bit. So I reckon to even it out, you've got to look at how they're doing internationally.
Let me just pull you up on that before you go any further, because I'll let you continue pointing them out. But by that logic, though, to be in that AC Milan defence, you had to be good to be in it. And to be in that Man City attack, you've got to be very good as well. And there's a lad who, look, Martial's in rotation. Lads, we talked about this earlier today over on your channel. But he's starting to play Rashford and him, which is fine. But he's not nailed down a starting place so far. Whereas Sane is making himself a week in, week out player for Man City.
There's a reason why it was Martial or Rashford. I only got told this when Zlatan returned, and the reason was he didn't want to be playing all of his attackers without one on the bench. As soon as Zlatan was on the bench, he was able to play them as attackers. It's not exactly the same.
Just fine. Just had to say it.
So I think you've got to look at their international play, and you've got to say obviously what Sane's doing, and then you've got to look at. I think those are two comparable international teams. I think putting one above the other at the moment is crazy. Okay. I think they're both class, and I think it's far too early in their careers to say who's better.
I don't know.
This is the internet.
Oh, sorry.
Someone has to be better than
at all times.
All times.
Someone who's
permanently being ranked all the time.
Everything has to be ranked.
And how would you choose to rank them?
I think Kevin Morales.
Don't you hate that though? That it is all the time.
Always.
Him or him. I always like
Jesus
to say,
or Neo.
No, but it's because
I think that you've just got to say players are like
no
world
fictional
class
characters, but one of them's got to let the trench coat.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I think you can say there's always like you see it all the time. Who's better, him or him? And you go, they're just in a group of world class players, and on a day against the team, the right formation system and everything that goes for them.
So Messi and Ronaldo are as good as each other.
Yeah, and I've said that all the time.
No.
I say that. I mean, you might
Messi's
disagree.
the greatest player of all time.
Just because he's got a talent.
Just because Maradona danced to a song which I keep seeing over and over again.
Really?
You must have seen it.
No. He wasn't dabbing, was he?
No, it was.
Didn't
I've
set
seen
it
him in
up.
the warm up where he's doing the keepy ups, and it's life is life.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, mate.
But I have issues with this because he's dancing and the song is like it's different clips, but the song is linear.
The song wasn't there, you know. He was warming up on the pitch.
Exactly. So these trendy hipster football people keep on showing it as why Maradona. No.
He was off his beak and he was just having
The reason why there's got to be, there always has to be this, is because we now live in a world, don't we, where football fans who are once kept apart from each other, literally in every walk of life, apart from your local rivals, now have to interact.
No, apart
which
from
means
Parks.
that apart from
parks.
Yeah, sure,
before
exactly.
games.
And subway stations and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're now, and of course, Twitter is genuinely populated by 13-year-olds who would be having these arguments if they were on the schoolyard. They're just having them on social media. Speaking of obviously 13-year-olds taking over comments. How's it in 442's this comment?
Oh, hey, it's not just 13-year-olds. Do you want to get my analytics out? It's only 25% of my audience.
It's weird.
Up to 24.
What's weird about the internet? It used to be full of 47-year-olds pretending to be 13-year-olds. Now it's full of 13-year-olds pretending to be 47-year-olds.
I think of it like if I was on a football management
game. Dangerous line there, to be fair.
If I was on a football management game, I'd go for Sane first, but Martial would be on my shortlist, ready, if I couldn't get the deal over the line, to go for him.
Yeah.
So I think I'd take Sane at the minute, but like you said, what's the point? Because in 2 years, Martial might be absolutely...
I'd have both. Martial as a centre forward for me. I know he gets played out wide because Mourinho doesn't like centre forwards who aren't built like brick shithouses. I think he's got more talent than he's being shown at Man United. Sane on the left hand side.
You see the goal he set up the other night for France? Just
look, he's
absolute
Martial's
dirt.
fantastic, and there was a point where when Mourinho came in and we did a show on Redman, I was like, if we could find a way to pinch him off United, because Mourinho's not going to do him a good job. Nah, it's never going to happen, but he's class.
Do you reckon that phone call's actually happened that much, that someone at Liverpool or United's phoned the others like, listen, and they've gone...
Gabriel Heinze!
No fucking way. Yeah, he had the clause. he had the clause.
We should have got Martial for the Lukaku deal. We should have.
Yeah,
We've
absolutely.
got Wayne
We're going to move on to the next question in a second. Ross, have you had any responses to the Sane Martial debate?
Yeah, a few people saying Sane saying that he's good at Schalke and City, whereas Martial didn't set ways light at Monaco.
But that's why he was, they inserted a Ballon d'Or clause in when they sold him.
Someone else saying Sane has got a higher ceiling, but Martial will perform better in that City side.
That's an interesting point, actually.
High seeing what we're bringing architecture in for. Like through the
anything
keyhole.
to prove a point, anything to make an argument.
It's our text as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another reference no one's going to get.
I got it.
Amit Singh, Amit_8. Was Mourinho right to let De Bruyne and Salah go? Does he deserve the criticism in regard to those two, or was it the correct decision at the time?
Well, I think... No, you'd look at it now and say...
Stupid.
Yeah, stupid. And you add Mata to that list, or Lukaku as well. But then would the players have gone on to do what they've done without that kind of motivation? And
you know what that is, though? That logic is like when a school teacher's an absolute prick to you, and then you make a success of your life, and you come back and you go, you arsehole, look, I've made something of me. I did that to drive you forward. No, I mean, I'm sure Mourinho would absolutely take that stance on it.
Yeah, but he's not... Like, look at Martial now. If he leaves and goes on to somewhere and achieves something, then it'll be the same again. Why didn't he give him his chance at United? So I'd say a definitive answer is no, he shouldn't have. But
yeah, I mean, it's the three in form. The three of the six in form players in the Premier League right now are all players that your manager let go.
But he got them there in the first place.
Wasn't that Michael Emenalo?
I don't know. No, he absolutely wasn't right to freeze him out, and he absolutely would be right to be criticised for it, I think. And that's the top and bottom of it.
Mm-hmm. Pez, anything to add?
Well, it's up there with Moyes letting Eric Dyer and Mustafi go, isn't it?
Yeah. It's up there with... it's more like the fella who turned the Beatles down. Because they don't... all this jingly-jangly stuff. Not for me. Never mind.
I think he was right to get rid of Salah, because he wasn't doing it. But Kevin De Bruyne's shown promise at Chelsea, and he never kept holding, which was strange.
I think every manager that's been in the game long enough has got some proper howlers under him. I mean, just look at Fergie's last couple of years and see letting Paul Pogba go and not giving him an opportunity. And, I think every manager that's been in the game, there's probably some that Guardiola's. I mean, Alexis Sanchez possibly is one of Guardiola's. Yeah. Should he have kept hold of him? Should he have done
even
more?
There's Zlatan thing to a degree, isn't there?
Yeah.
It was quite acrimonious, but there's that as well, and Guardiola's. Yeah.
Every manager's got them. I suppose if you manage at a top club, you're gonna you buy good players, or you're able to buy more players with potential as well. That's the Chelsea thing. That's probably not Mourinho's fault so much as it is the problem of the way Chelsea is set up. I'm not sure, they were ever going to be a perfect breeding ground in the first 11 for
And
young
anyone who's
players
come
anyway.
through Real Madrid, the amount of players that they bring in and let go every single season, there's going to be some howlers in there as well.
I think I did this for a laugh, because that's how bored I was one week that at Chelsea let go 11 players who've gone on to play in the Premier League that Chelsea have let go, and some of them are a bit like William Gallas, probably had his funnily enough, but
Shevchenko.
Even like the Petr Cech and stuff. That's not to say that they didn't have great players to replace them, because look, Chelsea have been competitive, been winning league titles and European Cups throughout this time. But they've let some amazing footballers go that any other club would be more.
Is it better to have had them and let them go, or to have Arsene Wenger them?
Never to love at all. Oh, had them at all, right? Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I mean, that's what a situation to be in. Most of us have to deal with that. The players that you let go you've destroyed them, mentally and physically destroyed them, because they've not quite reached up to your standards.
There's a French guy having a go at me for what happened with Schneiderlin at United.
Wow.
I was like, it wasn't my decision, mate.
If anyone's got any complaints about how certain players are handled at Man United, if you can just tweet at Mr. Stephen Housen on Twitter and just let him know. I think that's probably for the best. We've got another question coming up, but get some questions in now. Ross, can you have a question queued up for us after the next one?
Yeah.
Good lad. The only 1G on Twitter says, do you think Premier League teams are starting to reassert the dominance in Europe again, Ped?
Well, I didn't think this would happen. I didn't think you could compete for the Premier League and the Champions League. And it still might happen. It's still in the group stages. Yeah. But there seems to be a lot more dominance this season. Obviously, they're all doing very, very well. So, possibly. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens when we actually get to the business end and whether those teams can get through.
I think that's a good point. I think so far, so good. I mean,
do you think it's just Spurs?
What do you mean?
Because everyone looked at your group, looked at our group, looked at the Chelsea group and went, Spurs are going to struggle getting out of there. The fact that Spurs have got through that group, is that why people think that there's a massive...
Bear in mind that Liverpool's last Champions League group had Basel, Ludogorets in it, and obviously then Real Madrid, and we very much did not get out of that group. So yeah. But no, I think you're right. I think the fact that Spurs have got amazing results against Real Madrid, and
it helps, but then there's 5 teams as well. But also you look at the big clubs around Europe, forgetting that, taken for granted that you will beat the smaller clubs. Real Madrid are struggling. Barcelona have had their issues, certainly last year going at this one. Bayern have been all over the place with Ancelotti and now having Heinkes back in charge. Dortmund are really struggling. But, look at all those big teams across the big Juventus. There's only really PSG that have kicked on from last year. The rest are probably in decline themselves. So I think it's a mixture of us doing better as those teams, but
these all things come in cycles all the time, don't they? I mean, like I say, that Barcelona is the best example of it. Don't want Barcelona side that gives game time to Gerard Deulofeu. You know what I mean? Exactly. And they've got, Alcacer, he's scoring goals, isn't he? But he's not. Is he? We'll never know. There's probably massive fans who probably think he's the best thing that's ever happened to Spanish footy. But right now you wouldn't say that Barcelona team is better than it was 2 years ago. And all the good players are still the same good players. And they're just a bit older, aren't they?
The groups do help, though. The group doesn't mean brilliant, and the way it's all set up.
It's when it's a semi-final. It's when it's 3 out of 4 semi-finalists. Then you can say,
absolutely.
or 1 or 2 of the finalists, and someone winning it. If we get to that kind of stage, you can say, yes, we are back dominating it. And I think that's fairly likely. I think there's a couple of teams that could hit the semi-finals this year.
Yeah.
Are we going to get a winner?
How long does the country protection last for? Is it just till the quarters?
It's around the 16.
Is it around the 16? Well. Is that
I think it's
yeah.
That's when you got 5 teams.
Let me know, actually.
You've got 5 teams in. You can't exactly do it.
Well, exactly. I'm just wondering whether, because that would be typical. The luck is that all the British teams draw against each other in the 16.
Oh, look, that's warm.
Wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Who do you?
Yeah. English team, amazing. So or actually, the alternative would be they all don't draw against each other, and then we get to the quarters and there's not a single English team left in there. We'll have to see, won't we? Ross, you got some questions for us?
Yes, staying on that subject, Dragon XV says, are Premier League teams getting ahead of themselves, having not played Bayern, Barca, PSG or Juve?
Yeah, but they did play the 2-time reigning champions. I mean, like you've the guy's cherry picked 2 he's gone for there. But yeah, I mean, you can only play who you're drawn against, and they've done well against a good Dortmund side and a good Real Madrid side.
Yeah, that's what we're saying, though, isn't it? You get to the knockouts, and if it goes well and the teams are in the semis, but even then it's 1 year. You can't dominate something in 1 year and it'll reset again next year. And if it's a period of 2 or 3 years, then you can start.
But it was like 10 years, wasn't it, from when these lot scuffed it to like Chelsea's win, there was an English team in. I think we averaged like a team in every final, didn't we? Virtually. There was years where there wasn't one, but they had from you guys in the final. I think Arsenal was there the next year, then you guys, then us, then nobody, then us again, and then us the following year. But Chelsea was in between. I think like there's been a lot of English teams hitting the finals. That's when you can say that we've dominated again. Yeah. When there's multiple teams play, like how many times did you play Chelsea in the semis or quarters and stuff like that's when you can say it's at that kind of era again.
Yeah. Did you literally win a Champions League because John Terry scuffed the ball? Was that right? Did I remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting that. Okay, that's fine. I totally agree with that. I think that, I don't think it's worth getting carried away because, again, the groups are still ongoing. You know, I'm not going to talk too much about Liverpool's thing because we could do with just winning our last game and then worrying about the last 16. But the English teams too often go out in the groups of late. You know, the standard has been fallen. You know what I mean? We need to get back to that period of mid-noughties when if you can get a few teams in the semis, then you can easily say, well, you're only ever 90 minutes away from getting away from the final line. So, yeah, interesting stuff. Ross, you got one more?
Yeah.
Not queued up, he hasn't.
Yeah, I was asking more questions. Kenny says, do you think Sturridge is done for? I'm assuming he means at Liverpool.
At Liverpool, yeah. I mean, I thought
you guys need a striker, don't you?
I'd sign.
Yeah,
I said last January to sign him. Yeah, but no one listened.
I don't. The problem with Daniel Sturridge, because I did a video of this on my channel. I think Liverpool should keep him because I don't care about his World Cup ambitions. I like him. I like he's a good guy. I think he's a very good player on his day. He doesn't fit our system in how he plays, but you don't. Who cares? You know,
having one leg doesn't help.
Well, no, but even I don't think his fitness is an issue for him anymore. You know, he's on the bench for us every week. He's there. Now, there's a difference between playing 90 or 180 minutes a week. There is, massively so. But this is still, Daniel was never even used to make the bench for us, 2 years ago. So I think he's got it. He's still got something. He's only 28 years old.
He's Jermaine Defoe.
Yeah, maybe. Well, no, maybe.
I'd have him.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd move to us.
I think we'd be
and I don't think our fans would accept
like
that stupid celebration.
You'd love it, mate. You'd come to love it. Bear in mind, you've loved plenty of shit celebrations in your day.
None by Liverpool players.
But he wouldn't be a Liverpool player.
Liverpool players got the greatest celebrations in the world. And
apparently he's got a new goal celebration lined up anyway.
It, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, we'll see it in 2 weeks then, won't we?
Just like a derby. But no, again, people want me thought that I've done a longer video on it, but in a nutshell, I don't think we're ever going to see a top quality Daniel Sturridge ever again at Liverpool, but I think Liverpool have been mental to let a lad go in like January when we've got Danny Ings and Dom Solanke who are both decent players. But
for me, this is like an impact sub now. If you need somebody you can rely on to create something out of nothing, finish, then that. But he's not a 90-minute player. He's not a 60-minute player. He doesn't offer the legs of a centre forward in the Premier League anymore. He's a luxury for any team.
It's a shame because he's a genuine talent as well. He's an absolute genuine. He must hate United as well because I think he came through at City. He's at Liverpool. He's an Arsenal fan. He's been at Chelsea. He literally has just danced all the way around United. And I can hold my hands up and say that kid can play when he's fit and when he's able to.
Absolutely. Peds, sticking with Liverpool.
Jake Thompson's asked, do you think Liverpool need to sacrifice how many attackers we have on the pitch to stop being under as much pressure late on?
This is a tough one because I look at Man City and I look at the fact that they basically have 4 at the back, they're playing a midfield, a left back, which
they don't stick, do they? They're just twisting left, right, and centre.
Exactly. They've got Fernandinho holding it all together, and then they've just got 5 attacking players. We don't go that attacking, but I wouldn't be shocked if we did at one point. I think Liverpool have struck a balance prior to this last week where they've sacrificed a bit of attacking intent in terms of their approach. They've limited how far both fullbacks don't bomb on anymore. Mourinho largely does that. Gomez or Trent Alexander-Arnold sit a little bit more. They tend to let 2 midfielders kind of anchor a little bit more, and we let 4 guys do the attacking for us. I think it's a thing, but I just don't trust Liverpool's defence. You know, if the chips are down, you say go and keep this tight, lads. I think attack is our best form of defence, and I just think we should just get back to doing that. We should just go more. I want to see Lallana and Coutinho playing in midfield, and I want to see Salah, Firmino, Mane up front, and see how the world handles that. And if it's
Bring
if it's
Ozzy Ardiles in
well,
as manager as well.
if the answer's really well, they handle it really well, then fine. Then let's maybe sacrifice an attacker or two. But until then, I think attack.
I think you can do that if you've got centre backs.
Yeah,
maybe
that's it.
Who are good.
There's a problem there.
Yeah, there is a problem there. No, if you've got dominant players sitting in centre midfield, big physical player who can get round the pitch, and a centre back,
we could
then
just
you can
do with
that.
Jordan Henderson's in poor form, and Emre Can's been injured the last week. Maybe we need someone who's a bit more of a killer in midfield, just to smash things up a little bit for us. Like not like Fernandinho's really the archetype for that, I guess. Like, but I don't know. And just a bit more of a commanding centre half to marshal.
Well, it's come down to mistakes as well, hasn't it? Where even if you're bringing on more defenders, more defensive midfielders, if you still got those individual mistakes in it, it doesn't matter how many players you got on them.
I was trying to contend. BT were very quick to lump in the Chelsea draw with the draw with Sevilla, and Willian over it across and stuck it in the top bin. If he doesn't do that, there's every chance Liverpool get a hard-fought 3 points, and everyone talks about how Liverpool have dogged out a great result and what a solid defensive performance it is, even though that would be glossing over the truth because they had chances. Inevitably, you look for grand sweeping things to change when things aren't quite going your way, don't you? I don't think it's maybe as bad as all that.
But it's another game at home. You've got to win those home games.
Yeah, but
you can draw away. That's a result.
Yeah.
Like it was a result for us.
Yeah.
Like it's a result for Chelsea. That's not a result.
No,
City come to Old Trafford.
But our home form's
can't
not
take
the
a draw.
problem. Our home form's good. I think we've only conceded 2 goals or something at Anfield this season. We are decent at home. It's maybe fine. I think the balance needs to come away from home because again, you can see 3 goals we conceded against Watford, 3 goals against Sevilla. Was it 4 against Spurs, 4 or 5 against City, whatever it was. That's what's killing us. It's finding that balance between damaging teams, but also not shooting yourself in the foot.
But even personnel, like who is there to really bring on against Chelsea? Who was there really to bring on to tighten it up? Anyway,
Well, by all accounts, we wanted to switch to 3 at the back, and the referee stopped that happening. That might have been the solution.
but even that's
too
the
late
system
when it
rather
happens.
than
But that was Milner at right wing back, Mourinho at left wing back, and then shifting the centre halves over one, so they were a 3 rather than Gomez being at right back. But I don't know. I really don't know what the answer is. But people can let us know in the comments by all means. Ross, I want one more belter of a question, and then one something a bit funny. I'll leave that with you.
Okay.
You've not got anything, have you?
I've got something funny.
Go on, start with that then.
Okay.
Didn't
Dinger
sound
Bells
confident, did it?
on Liverpool says, no, football is just like sex, it's more entertainment, there's a sense of danger.
It's more of a statement than a question.
Yeah, Liverpool are very much like, we're on 17 and we can twist or you can stay. We're just like, now we'll twist because twisting's well more entertaining, isn't it?
Someone says Man United's next 3 games are Watford, Arsenal, Man City. Is Howson worried?
Yeah.
Are they? I wouldn't have known that.
So, funnily enough, we've actually just done a video on this. It's going to be going over on your channel, but I guess we can preview that a little bit.
Yeah.
Worried?
Yeah. I'm worried, yeah.
Well, why are you worried?
Because this Watford team is genuinely good.
You're Manchester United.
This
You've
is
got
Arsenal
Paul
away at
Pogba, Romelu Lukaku, Emre Mkhitaryan. I'm just naming your players. You
Chris
know who your players
Smalling.
are.
And
Chris
Ashley Young.
And Ashley Young.
goal
Ashley
scorer.
Young.
He got your winning goal.
Sure, mate.
Kind of. You're not having that. He doesn't get even a slight bit for
No.
that. No.
He's aiming at the bottom left-hand corner. It hits someone else and goes in the far right corner.
Listen, a bird once pooed in his mouth live on a match, and he came back from that. The man's got intestinal fortitude like you wouldn't believe. He's the Mick Foley of football.
I'm worried for how reliant we are on Pogba for creativity. I think we need to go to 3 people in midfield because I think we've won games this year on individual brilliance and set pieces in the final third. We've not won it on an actual dominating performance. Like one of the best games that we had last year, which we didn't win, was Arsenal at home last year, and we bullied that Arsenal midfield. And it was Carrick, Pogba and Herrera in a midfield 3. And we did similar against Spurs. I'm not sure it was the same 3 against Spurs, but we did similar against Spurs. And it's just that midfield 3. When you're playing 4-2-3-1, I like Matic, I love Pogba. It's not enough. And that extra number 10 that does jack shit defensively isn't doing it in them big games. And we saw in pre-season, it's only pre-season, when we play 3, we're quite fluid, we're going forward. Even when you play a 3-5-2, it's still a 3-man midfield. And I think when you've got that 3 in midfield, I think you've got a base to then start attacking from. And that's what I want to see United switch to in these games. Even if it's Fellaini, I'm not asked. It's just another person in that midfield that gives it a bit of balance. Because I think when you've just got Matic doing the defensive work and Pogba doing what he wants all over the pitch, it's a little bit loose. We saw in pre-season City absolutely ran through that midfield and we beat them, but we beat them on counter-attacking football, and that might be a precursor for how the derby goes, but we need 3 men in midfield, I think, to get...
Criticising Ashley Young and letting Fellaini off. This is mental.
What a world we live in, eh?
Oh,
what a world.
Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought it?
Absolutely. So we've got some great videos coming up, more Social Club for you today. We're going to be talking about the situation at Everton. Is Big Sam the man to guide the Blues away from relegation pedal? That'll be either on the channel now or going up very shortly. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Arsenal and whether the crisis is finally over at that football club. Steve on his channel hosts us talking about Man United's next 3 games in more depth and detail, whether it's make or break for the title challenge and Man United's season in general. So do check out all of those videos. Subscribe, of course, to 442 Tunes, to Mates TV, to Steve to Toffee TV.
That might be about to get really interesting.
That is going to get so good on your channel right about now.
Got a good interview up tonight.
Ooh, are you going to reveal who it is?
No.
Go and check out Toffee TV to find out who the top secret interview is.
I say top secret just in case he doesn't turn up.
Sound. But anyway, yes, thank you. Of course, subscribe to Ball Street for more Social Club. Back down south next week. If you want us to return to week in, week out Northern action, let them know in the comments below. If you also want them to get longer trousers, just start tweeting to Flav Bateman and say, Flav, get some longer trousers. Paul sent me. Nice one. See you soon. Ta-da.
Cockney nonsense.